Reality is knocking on the door of the porta potty. The truth is finally coming to the light. The same light.
If Caitlin Clark is the quote-unquote savior, if she's the golden girl, milk it!
Going to be dimming here in about 12 hours when Caitlin Clark is eliminated from the playoffs.
The WNBA's got a $10 million problem. That's how much they're losing each season. And now, without Caitlin Clark in the playoffs, things are looking even worse. But don't worry, we're not just here to bring bad news. We've got some ideas on how they can fix this mess. When was the last time women's basketball was taken seriously? That game was changed by Caitlin Clark, though. Now that she's gone, though, the numbers paint a bizarre picture. How bizarre. In record time, the league went from sold-out arenas to crickets. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. You'll be shocked at the effect one player can have on a league as a whole. We are discussing games that saw 1.8 million viewers drop to just 161,000.
Ratings for Game 1 have got to be disappointing for Kat Engelbert and the WNBA front office. There were regular season games this season where Caitlin Clark drew more than 1.8 million viewers.
Folks, that is not a typo. It appears as though everyone abruptly switched the channel. Not only that, but the Indiana Fever unexpectedly drew 17,000 fans to their arena from nothing. It's not just TV ratings either. Over the entire league, attendance increased by 156%. That is completely crazy. The problem is that Clark isn't merely packing theaters. Rather, she's rewriting history. This rookie is breaking all kinds of records. She is the first rookie to accomplish both of those tasks. It seems as though she is engaged in an entirely distinct game. Clark has the most double-doubles of any rookie guard, the most points by a point guard in a season, and the quickest player to reach 100 three-pointers in just 34 games. That's not just excellent, it's revolutionary. And what could be more absurd? Clark has a significant impact outside of the court. She's developed into this female basketball cultural icon.
However, I hope Kat Engelbert is ready for disappointment because there's a hell of a lot more of it on the way. There were 3 other games in the WNBA on Sunday night.
People who were previously uninterested in the WNBA are now paying attention. Like she waved a magic wand, and overnight women's basketball became a must-watch on television. Let's discuss the implications for the league. The WNBA is no longer merely a league. It's evolving into an entirely different game with players like Clark. The way that people perceive women's basketball is changing. These days, it's not just about the sport. It's also about the excitement, star power, and cultural impact. This is the tricky part though. These numbers and the buzz they're creating tell us something important. The WNBA has experienced what it's like to be in the spotlight and to have a superstar. However, what occurs when that spotlight goes out? Without Clark on the court, will they be able to maintain the magic? That spotlight, though, did more than just fade away. It blew a fuse. Post-Clark reality for the WNBA is slamming home like a fast break. Could I tell you that the league is having trouble filling even half of the seats that it did in the past?
It is safe to say, North America, that the Caitlin Clark effect has taken over the WNBA at this point.
With all that momentum, it seems like someone pressed the emergency brake. Remember how we discussed those sold-out arenas and astronomically high ratings? Now fasten your seatbelts, because this is going to get crazy. It feels as though a switch has been flipped when Clark isn't on the court. Previously, the most anticipated event of the year, playoff games are currently receiving little attention. We are discussing arenas that are unable to fill even half of their capacity. It's a nosedive, not just a div. How about the ratings on TV? They're dropping like a bad pass. Oh boy. It appears as though everyone chose to switch the channel at the same moment. The intensity with which Clark played the game vanished. Poof! In that exact moment. It is comparable to witnessing a party where the honored guest has left early and everyone is now examining their watches. This is where things get really interesting though. The WNBA was already facing financial difficulties. Each season they were losing roughly $10 million. Now that Clark isn't bringing in the big crowds, that figure might rise dramatically, like trying to stop a leak with a sieve. Money is just flowing out of the situation. And here's the thing, the league's marketing approach is being criticized. What did they do with this player who was a game changer and a superstar? Hardly any advertising, not much promotion. It's as though they neglected to mention their best player to the public. Could you picture possessing a golden ticket and simply forgetting to utilize it? The key question now is, did the WNBA put all of its eggs in one basket? And what happens now that the basket is gone if they did? These days, the future of the entire league is at stake rather than just one player. You have to ask yourself, is this merely a one-time hiccup, or are we witnessing the end of the WNBA's heyday? The league is gonna have to take a hard reality check. They know what it's like to be in the spotlight and have experienced success. But maintaining that pace, it's proving to be more difficult than anyone anticipated. Imagine a WNBA in which each player is a television star and every game is a must-watch. It sounds impossible, doesn't it? The worst part is that it might be the league's only chance to survive. The elimination of Caitlin Clark from the playoffs presents a significant challenge for the WNBA. Fans are leaving them faster than free pizza at a college party. It's as if they've lost their main draw. Imagine half-full arenas with spectators drifting to other sports. The WNBA appears to be starting over. The thing is, though, that this is more than just a setback. It serves as a warning. One superstar cannot be the league's sole source of funding. A whole constellation of stars is required. What is the strategy then? They must, first and foremost, write stories for each player, not just one. Consider rivalries, dramas within the team, and everything. Making each game seem like an essential event to watch is the goal. You know how the NBA pits LeBron against Curry, or the Celtics against the Lakers? Every WNBA matchup needs that level of intensity. However, it goes beyond the players who are currently playing. The WNBA must consider the big picture. They can't do nothing but wait for the next Caitlin Clark to appear out of nowhere. They must go forth, discover, and nurture their stars. It's similar to planting a garden in that you tend to the entire patch rather than just waiting for one flower to bloom. And now, let's briefly discuss marketing. The WNBA needs to become more competitive. Clark was an incredible player for them, but have you noticed her face emblazoned on billboards? Nope. It seems as though they neglected to mention their best player to anybody. That must never occur again. They must proclaim loudly about each captivating player and each exhilarating game. This is where the real deal starts. This goes beyond the WNBA. It has to do with women's sports future. That future too. As fans, it's in our hands. We have the ability to influence future developments. It seems like if we all have a piece of the puzzle, we can all put it together to make something truly amazing. Consider this. Each time we tune in or purchase a ticket, we are communicating. We are expressing, hey, we want more of this. And change occurs in this way. It's more important to create a league where every player has the opportunity to succeed than it is to focus only on one superstar. The key question now is whether the WNBA can continue without a superstar like